Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We are returning to our 007 Tuesdays after a week break, which was not planned. It just kind of happened because of life. But we are back at it, and I'm excited. This week, we are tackling Skyfall, which is a very interesting film in this run of James Bond. So it'll be fun to discuss and break down. And yeah. We got a lot to talk about, but we'll get to that after a word from our sponsor.
Do you want to start a podcast? Well, now you can, for free. And it's as easy as downloading the new Spotify podcast app to your phone and or computer and hitting record. Spotify Podcasts allows you to record anytime or upload files and provides all the tools you'll need to make your episode sound as solid as stone. Spotify Podcasts is the new home for any podcasters looking to expand their brand and reach new audiences across the globe.
All right, so yeah, you guys are probably ready for us to start talking about some James Bond, but first, that's something I want to talk to Dima about. So if any of you guys watched our podcast this past Sunday, we did The Wrestler with a special guest, which was Ryan Madden, a good friend of ours. And at the time of recording that, it was actually the weekend prior to when it was posted, and we were fresh out of a pay-per-view in which one of our favorite wrestlers, my all-time favorite wrestler, probably all-time favorite, him and Stone Cold, but yeah, CM Punk was somebody who we discussed quite a bit, as he had a championship match with Samoa Joe, but there was also some, backstage drama going on with CM Punk in which we had shed some light on for you and anyone else who didn't know about it. Well, yesterday, while uploading that podcast, I found out that CM Punk got fired from AEW. So, yeah, my favorite wrestler just got fired yesterday while I was uploading our wrestling podcast where I talked about him being my favorite wrestler.
I seen that.
He's fired. It's not a work. You know how we had a theory that it might be a work,
right?
Just it'll be the greatest story ever told. No, it's real. So Tony Khan, the general manager of AEW, owner of AEW, whatever, he posted a statement that they played. Well, he posted a statement online. He did a pre-recorded thing they played at the beginning of Collision last night, which Collision was literally the show that was made for CM Punk that we told you about. But also they were in Chicago last night. Chicago is CM Punk country. So I was like, how the hell are you going to fire the guy whose hometown you're in? There's going to be a riot.
Yeah, that's...
Which Tony Khan kind of neutralized. I just saw a video on TikTok this morning. He actually came out with a folding chair, put it on the stage, and was just like, let's get it over with. Literally, everyone's booing at him and shit, and then he's just talking over them and telling them, look, I grew up here. This is my hometown, too. I'm a big wrestling fan. And, they were booing him for, 8 minutes. And then finally, he stands up. He's getting angry. He's like, I can't have the guys that you people don't think about that make this show happen every week in fear of their lives. He's like, they're not back there to do all this hard work and then be in fear of, oh, I might get hurt. Or, he said, that's not a work environment that I can allow. So, yeah, whatever the incident was, it was a lot more than what we were privy to.
Oh, wow. That's actually really bad.
So, yeah, anyways, that happened, and it's kind of had me in a funk because CM Punk is my favorite wrestler who is actively wrestling. I guess that's the best way to put it. But I guess he's not actively wrestling anymore. I don't see him going back to WWE, and now AEW has permanently terminated. That was the word that was used, permanently. He ain't coming back to AEW. So I don't really know where he's going to go.
So is he going to be the next Randy Robinson?
Dude, I don't know, because his movies have kind of flopped too, so I don't even think he can do movies. Here's what I got to say about CM Punk. He is my favorite wrestler, and honestly just one of my favorite people in the world. I just think he's awesome. If he wrote a book, I'd go buy it the day it came out. If he did, he actually wrote some comic books with Marvel, and I went and got them, even though they were comic books I would probably never really read.
Sure.
Just because he wrote them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of him. I'm just a big fan of him as a person. And unfortunately, even though he's a go-get-em kind of guy, he does fail a lot. He went to the UFC. He failed. He did comic books. It didn't really take off. He did movies. It kind of failed. So he goes for it, but it just doesn't always work.
That
Wrestling
sucks.
was his thing, but unfortunately,
It didn't work.
he's just not found a place he can really thrive in.
Yeah.
It worked with WWE, but that kind of.
Yeah, well, I'm bored with this dumb shit, so what the hell happened in Skyfall?
That's fair. All right. 007 Skyfall. When James Bond's latest assignment goes gravely wrong and agents around the world are exposed, MI6 is attacked, forcing M to relocate the agency. These events cause her authority and position to be challenged by Gareth Mallory, the new chairman of the Intelligence and Security Committee. With MI6 now compromised from both inside and out, M is left with only one ally she can trust, Bond. 007 takes to the shadows, aided only by field agent Miss Eve Moneypenny, following a trail to a mysterious enemy whose lethal and hidden motives have yet to reveal themselves. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I like this synopsis on here because it doesn't really give a lot at all.
No, it doesn't.
Which is a good thing because I'm going to be honest, this is probably my least favorite film in this run of James Bond.
I agree with that.
Which is
So far.
interesting because it has one of my favorite antagonists out of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. Guys, I got drunk last night. I'm a little hungover. I'm fucking trying. Anyways, who's the fucking James Bond in these? Yeah. Out of the Daniel Craig movies, it has probably my favorite antagonist. And also, probably one of my favorite all-time James Bond scenes, which we'll get into later. I'm really excited to talk about it. From the way it's filmed to the way Daniel Craig acts and everything in between. It is perfect. If it was a short film on YouTube, I'd give it hole in one times a million. Like, I think it's amazing. So, can't wait to get into that. But it's funny that this movie is comprised of these different things, but it's my least favorite in the Daniel Craig run. So, but yeah, anyways, I'm glad they didn't give away too much because part of the reason this is my least favorite is I don't think there is a lot to really tear apart out of this movie. Like, it's almost like you've come across a carcass in the desert that's already been picked apart by the buzzards, and you're trying to find little pieces of meat that you can eat off of it. Like, that's kind of how this film comes off to me.
Yeah.
Which, that might be a terrible analogy, but again, I'm fucking hungover. Give me a goddamn donut. Dima, talk to the people. How's this movie start, Dima?
Movie starts with
Do you want to butter your tits?
sure. Movie starts with
Which one do you want?
Oh, I don't care.
Here, be a window shopper.
That one.
Okay.
Movie starts. Oh no, not that one. No, I'm kidding. Movie starts with Bond trying to get the list back with Moneypenny.
Who has taken it?
Oh shit, I don't even remember now.
I think his name's Caprice.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
I think.
He's just a mercenary.
Yeah, he wasn't really important enough for
Yeah.
me to care about him.
No, he's not.
But it starts off with Bond trying to get this list back, and then they're going all throughout town. He's following him. They both end up in vehicles, and they're just driving through town, avoiding hitting the pedestrians and the citizens, and then the police want to get involved.
I will highlight, I love when they're riding the dirt bikes on the rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
That was badass. That's one of those things I could see Tom Cruise doing, and like they highlight it before the movie hits
That's
theaters.
exactly
Like,
what I was
he
thinking
did
about
his
when
own
I was
stunt,
watching
and
it.
he just shows them ramping on the roofs and.
But yeah, then they get on the dirt bikes, which lead them to the train pretty much.
Love that train scene.
Yeah, that train scene was really,
Talking about the fighting.
yeah, the fighting, the suspense of it, like, you know,
The choreography was great. And I like M being in a kind of hard corner of like that guy has. So I guess we should explain the hard drive he took has like details on all MI6 agents. So that little fucking hard drive is potentially going to compromise their entire operation. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't know whose hands it's going to end up in.
Yep.
So stopping that is the utmost importance. But as we know, Em and Bond are close.
Yes.
Their relationship is definitely beyond professional. She's like a mother figure. They definitely care about each other. But she has to make the hard corner decision of, okay, I have to get that back, which means at all costs. What did you bite? Your tongue?
Lip.
Dima confuses his lip for food quite often. It's all right, Dima. We're going to have a podcast where we diagram your mouth on the board and then food, and then you'll be able to like clearly have like distinction between
Very
the two.
useful.
Yeah. But yeah, so Bond and Caprice are doing the tango on top of the train. You got Moneypenny at the high vantage point with the sniper rifle. Do I take the shot? I don't have a clear shot. M makes the call. And of course, she shoots Bond.
Which that told me right there that, and Bond even mentions it when he ends up coming back. Like, you didn't trust me to get the job done. And it's true. It was another situation where M doesn't trust Bond to do what he needs to do and to handle the business the way he's trained to do.
Which, by the way, I just got to comment on that fall. The chances of him surviving that, it's like that dude who tried to commit suicide jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge and survived.
Like 1 in a million.
He's literally 1 in a million. And they've like interviewed him on podcasts and shit.
seen
His body was destroyed.
Yeah.
So I do like that we have 3 months after this, and not to like skip ahead, but Bond is beat the fuck up. So, but yeah, back to the shooting. That whole thing was filmed great because you could see the like regret and terror, and it was just like, it was almost as if M and Moneypenny both knew that making that shot happen was not going to go the way they wanted it to, but they knew if they didn't make that call that they'd have to answer for it.
Sure. Yeah. 100%.
So it was like, well, at least I can tell whoever we tried to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like, we didn't take the shot because an agent was in the way, you know. But it's funny how that works because it's like, no matter what, we still see that M is being held responsible for it. You know, they don't like, they send Mallory to basically go push her towards retiring because they don't like how she's been handling. Because I think it's like 3 months later afterwards when he goes to talk to her. And they don't like how she's been dealing with the situation, and the hard drive's just been gone, and they haven't found it or even had any leads.
Right.
But one thing this movie does play well on, again, that the other two have is, who the fuck is in charge? You know, who do they work for? We don't know. We've gotten literally nowhere with that. And it's because the organization that is at play has so many tiers. You can get to like the big boss in the movie, but they are literally just a scrub in the grand scheme of things. So, and that's how Caprice was. And he gets away. I like how they filmed that too, because he kind of like almost looks at Moneypenny when he goes under the tunnel in the train. It's just like, oh, he's gone.
Well, I kind of took it as like him looking like, are you on my side kind of deal? Like, he wasn't even sure if she was working for his people or working with Bond. But no, I mean, that scene was very well directed. Sir Samuel Mendez, CB, did a fantastic job with that scene specifically. The movie itself, I think.
Wait, he's a sir? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he was knighted in the 2020 New Year's honors list.
Well, I gotta say, that is one thing about this movie. I'm gonna like chef's kiss is the direction.
Yes, yeah, I think he did a good job with the direction of it.
We didn't do ratings.
I was
on
about
that.
to say this leads up to rate it.
Okay. I'll let you go first.
So I was thinking about this a little bit ago. Because I almost want to say a 3.
Okay.
But I feel like there would be a time where I would watch it again just for shits and giggles. So I'd probably have to go with a 2.
Okay. Yeah, I was in the same boat. I did write down par 3. Because here's how I had to look at it. If you're going to watch the Daniel Craig Bond movies, if you just stop at Casino Royale, you'll be okay. If you watch Quantum of Solace, you have to finish the story.
Yes.
Because that just pokes holes in all these different plots
Right.
that you just want to kind of dive into. So with that being said, I don't see a way that you could skip this movie, because you have to watch this movie because it all leads into the grand finale. So with that being said, I just looked at it as like, okay, as its own movie, if I sat down and watched it, would I want to watch it ever again? No. I wouldn't. But like you said, if I look at this as a whole story, I'd give it a par 2. But I give it a par 3. I just treat it like it's its own thing because.
Yeah, that's probably what I should have done.
Well, and also, I would give Casino Royale a par 2 if I could go back and change my score in that episode. And I don't put this on par with Casino Royale.
Oh, that's a good point.
In terms of the story, writing. That's honestly my biggest issue, I guess. I think that's my biggest issue. That and the way the movie's cut.
Yeah, we'll go to a 3 then.
So so we're in agreement on this movie for sure. Like it's not.
It wasn't a terrible movie. There was times where I was bored though.
Yes.
I felt like there's certain things where I'm like, I just don't really care about that.
And for me, the big bad, which we won't say his name yet, we'll get to that, but I think that's rushed. In my opinion, it feels a little too quick, and that's what I mean by the way it's cut. It just feels like you don't.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We'll get into it.
I see
so I can
what you're saying,
like
I
kind
agree.
of pinpoint where I wanted more with him. But anyways, all right. So 3 months later, M's pressured into retiring by Gareth Mallory, who is the chairman of Intelligence Security, and basically she's insisting that she can still do the job. Yeah. Now. The timing of this, but right after that's when the MI6 servers get hacked.
Right.
And MI6 blows the fuck up. Like, there goes that.
Yeah.
M probably should retire. She really should have retired, Dima.
Yeah, she should have taken that retirement.
Anyways.
Nope. Can't have happiness.
Well, this is where we learn that Bond is not dead, as it has been presumed. He is alive and well. Well, I don't know about well, but
he's alive.
He's out there in the world. He has used his presumed death to unofficially retire. And we can kind of see that Bond doesn't really have a purpose in this world without MI6.
Yes.
He is just a wild cowboy out there just aimlessly doing whatever.
Yeah, he's sleeping around and drinking booze.
I love the scene at the bar though with the scorpion on his hand. That was cool. That was really cool. But anyways, he sees the attack on the news with MI6 and like the Call of Duty. He answers. Shows up in London, surprises them in her apartment. I love that because he's just like a shadowy silhouette. Mm-hmm. And she just knows it's him. And she's like, it's weird. It's almost like she knew he was alive. Like, her reaction is more of like, I knew you were out there. It's about time you come back.
Yeah, but what annoyed me with that, though, is like she acted like she was annoyed.
That's driving me crazy. Sorry. These fucking cheap-ass lids.
They're
supposed
popping
to be an air
off.
hole so you can...
Oh, yeah.
You gotta fucking, like, make it ginormous so it doesn't... Listen to this. Yeah. Oh yeah, let me stab that fucking bitch. Thank you, sir. Does this pop open or is
Oh my god, I saw it going through your hand.
just for a slit in my coffee lid? I cut my finger.
Well, I ain't no doctor, so
You just
napkins
spit. You
or
just
something.
spit on it, wrap it up with tape.
Exactly. But I felt like she was bothered by him, and like she faulted him for getting shot and letting the list go.
Well, let's be fair here. Could he have handled that train fight a little bit more tactful? Like he kind of just went brawls, like he brawls out basically. It's not like he tries to get him into like picture he like trips him, puts him in a figure 4 leg lock to where his upper torso is completely at the other end of the submission hold. And the Moneypenny can, like, just pop the dude's head.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, Bond didn't know she was well, actually, yeah, he did.
No,
He had the earpiece in still.
That's what I mean. He does that thing, and he does this in the movie, so it's at least a consistent thing. But, like, he just brawls, man. He's all about, like, the hand-to-hand combat, the, like, trying to outdo whoever he's...
Yeah, he has to be the biggest and the baddest.
But he probably could have done that better.
No, sure.
So I can kind of get that frustration because it's like, but I don't think you can blame Bond
right
entirely.
She was the one that called the shot to get him to take the bullet to the chest versus trusting that he's just going to handle it like he always does.
That's the thing. If that train had went into the tunnel and Bond was still on it, I had no doubt he would have subdued Caprice and gotten the hard drive back. So if anything, I think she's kind of, it might not, I'll give you this. I don't think the movie shows this at all, but I almost think she should be mad at herself.
I think that's
for not having faith in Bond.
And I think that's what it is that she's more mad at herself, but she's taking it out on him.
But I will say, I don't think this is skipping ahead too much. That might answer a question I had now that I think about it. Because I was like, you know, she basically lets him come back. He does all the tests, the mental, physical, all that. And he fails all of them, but she tries to make everyone believe that he does pass them, and he really didn't. Right. And I was like, okay, why would you do that? But now I'm thinking like, well, maybe it's because she didn't have faith in him when he was on the train, so now she's trying to put faith in him now to like appease her own self-guilt. Like, I don't know. That might be.
But she also knew that, like at that point, she was very well aware that the only person who could get it done was Bond.
Yeah.
So she didn't have much of a choice but to clear. So I feel like there was a lot of factors that played into that decision specifically for her.
Yeah. No, I agree. So yeah, he gets cleared for all that. This actually gets us into the scene I wanted to talk about. I think this is the best James Bond sequence of scenes ever. I'm just gonna put it out there. Him hunting Caprice down in Shanghai. There's so much about that to pick apart. Matt Jones, who has been on our show, you guys will see him in a future episode that we're still editing. But we talk about the John Wick movies. There's a similar thing they do in those movies sometimes with like neon lights and the way like glass reflects different, and it just creates this aura almost. And it's really unique. And it also reminds me of like a video game like Hitman or Cyberpunk. Like anytime they have nighttime scenes in a city, the way the lights and everything play into like creating this mood.
Right.
I don't know. It's cool. The way that whole, like from the time he pulls up and watches him get out of the taxi and you see him kill the guy and goes into the building, from there until basically he lets him fall off the building, I think that is masterful filmmaking. I love every aspect of it. I think it is so well done. For one, I love that Bond runs in and just grabs onto the bottom of the elevator and takes it up. Like, he has no idea how this building works, or like, he's just like, well, if he goes up this elevator with probably hundreds of floors. I'm never going to know what floor he stopped at.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ride the elevator with him. It's just like, I mean, yeah, it works out, but I was like, that's crazy right there.
What
like,
they did very well with that, though, is they showed him struggling with that.
Well, yeah.
The grip, the everything.
That's
like,
the
they
thing.
showed him struggle.
You can see why he definitely failed that test.
Yeah.
And how that fall affected him.
Yes.
He is not like prime Bond anymore. No. He's hurt. He's down bad.
He's old.
He's bad, Emo. But then that leads to everything that I love visually. I love him seeing Caprice. Like, well, you see the evidence of him taking out security guards and whatever, and you see him setting up the shot that he's about to take. Is there's like his accomplice in the building adjacent to them. They got somebody in a chair, and it's like, okay, like he's about to kill the person in the chair. I love the way that's filmed. I just think that looks so cool. Like, you just got a sniper in this calm building. He's created the calm by taking out anybody who's in his way. But Bond's just watching him. I was like, that's so fascinating. Like, because if you look up a review for this movie or listen to a podcast, which I have, everyone words it like Bond couldn't stop him from getting his target, but he is able. It's like, no, he could have stopped him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to say that. He could have stopped him. He watched him kill that guy. It was almost like he wanted to see things play out. And it was smart because he was able to figure out, like, oh, okay, those people in that room are working with him. Right? So, like, he got some intel from that, which is good because he doesn't get any intel from Caprice, which is what he's supposed to be doing. Because M has assigned him to track down a Caprice, figure out who his employer is, kill him.
Yes.
That's literally what she says. He does 2 of those 3 things. So anyways, I love that Bond just watches. And there's a shot where, like, half of Bond is in, like, this blue neon light and the other part's, like, in dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's almost visible. And there's, like, a noise, and Caprice kind of, like, looks, like, almost as if he knows somebody's there. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's so cool. But then he just goes and continues with the assassination. And Bond just watches. And then after that is when their battle ensues, I guess. And the way that is filmed, fucking so cool, dude. Because they are both just like black silhouettes.
Yeah.
There's no distinguishing features. If you didn't... Because, you know, Daniel Craig's got a pretty, like, distinct body outline. Yeah. You know, he's kind of a short, broad-shouldered guy. So you can tell which one's him, which one's Caprice. And the way the light behind them creates their fight scene is just so fucking cool. I think that is one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever seen. So yeah, I don't know. Just the way that's filmed, I don't even think I can describe it in a way that does it justice. So if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check that whole scene out. It's not that far into the movie, and it's so fucking good. I love everything about it. Love everything about it. Now, what's interesting is when Bond is holding Caprice because he goes to that window and he's about to drop him. Do you think he could have saved Caprice?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he had the strength to do it.
Yeah.
And I think if he did, he would have continued holding him there. And then I think he was going to drop him no matter what. But I don't think he had the strength to keep holding him as long as he needed to, like he normally would.
That's what I was going to say, is that I think he could have saved him if he had pulled him up immediately.
Yes.
But I think in his head, he was like, oh, I'm going to hold him here and try to scare him into getting intel, but then I'll just let go of him.
Right.
And I'm sitting here like, I guess you didn't realize your strength wasn't what it used to be, but you should have. So I'm like, he could have pulled him up immediately, I guess.
A lot of that's an ego thing, too,
which he has a problem with.
He's like, oh, yeah, I got injured, but I'm good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck it.
Yeah, so I'm not nitpicking that. I was just like, I felt like at that point he should have been a little bit more cognizant of the fact that he's kind of down bad.
Yeah, he's
Um,
hurt.
Because then he's mad at himself when Caprice drops and he doesn't get the name of the employer. But then we have the interesting scene of, I can't remember her name,
Severin.
yeah.
Whatever.
She's staring at Bond, kind of like, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, not like frustrated or mad, which is interesting because she's an accomplice of Caprice. But then we figure out why in a little bit. So yeah, I don't know, that whole scene, I love it. Again, if that was just a short film about a Bond, or I guess an assassin taking out another assassin, I would be like, dude, that's the coolest thing ever made. Like,
Yes.
I love that whole sequence of scenes. So yeah. Anyways, this leads into us meeting finally 3 films in our new quartermaster Q.
Yep.
And what do you think about this new Q, Dima?
I think he's real goofy, but he plays the part very well. Like a smart, awkward kid.
I like him.
I like him a lot.
I like that we didn't go like old man route.
Yeah.
We didn't try to replace who had done it before. It's like let's just try something new.
Yes.
And yeah, really like it. I
Give him
like
a
him a
long
lot.
career with Bond.
I kind of like how he seems to think that he is better than Bond when it comes to intelligence. Like he literally says, like, we need somebody out there to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, dude. Like, all right, we got a good dynamic with these two.
I
I also love that he just gives him a gun and a fucking radio.
Right. Bond's like, it's not really Christmas, and he just goes, yeah, it's not the old times anymore, whatever he said, which really, I know that played a big part into, oh man, fuck me. What's his face, Bond?
Pierce
Brosnan having all the gadgets, like in the...
Yeah, I kind of took
older
that as like
days,
a double meaning thing.
Yeah.
I felt like that was their way of saying, like, we're not doing that shit they did in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know? But, like, yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little reference. But, yes, I like that whole exchange. That's cool. I like the new Q. I like him in the... I've seen all these movies already, so I like him in the movies to come as well. Then... Oh, yeah. So he's stalking... Oh, dude. Wait, he meets Q before...
Yeah, so he meets...
Caprice. That's my bad.
He does, yeah. He
I
goes
forgot about
directly
that.
after
I knew there was something I was screwing up.
talking with M to talking with Q.
Yeah, okay. And then that's when he...
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought... Okay. Anyways. There's an important thing, though. So he doesn't get into a lot of Caprice, but he does get a token for that casino.
Yes. Yeah, he found that in his bag.
And that leads him to Macau, which is also in China. It's a casino that ship belongs to. And, it's a chip you cash in for kills. So, Bond goes there just to kind of see what happens. And, of course, he runs into that. What's her name?
Severin.
Severin, is that how you say it?
I'm definitely butchering it.
Let me see how. Sorry, guys. We're just two dumbasses trying to do a
'Cause
podcast.
it's got the apostrophes over the E.
Oh, what's her name? What the fuck is that? Can we get any more punctuation in there? Can we get a question mark after the R and a fucking... Okay, I just sound ignorant now. But like, look at her character. Like,
No,
you got
yeah.
Severin as Brain. I'm gonna stop before I get canceled. We'll just call her Severin. Whatever. Caprice's accomplice. All right, that's all I got. Severin. He's approached by her in the casino, and she's trying to work him until he recognizes a tattoo on her wrist, which is cool because that kind of just shows like his vast knowledge of the world in general.
Yeah.
He recognizes that she, is basically wearing a tattoo of a sex slave industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's able to basically break down her entire life really quick, and she's just dumbfounded. And that works because it gets her to basically say, hey, my bodyguards are targeting to kill you. You don't have much time. I will help you if you kill my employer. Which, this is the other thing about this movie that I love is her employer. And the fact that we are finally getting somewhat of an answer to this question that we've been asked in all these movies so far. Who do you work for?
Mm-hmm.
It actually feels like, okay, we're starting to get somewhere now.
Answer.
Now, this is interesting because she leaves and she's not sure if Bond's gonna, like, she's like, you know, if you do live, like, come to my yacht.
Mm-hmm.
And of course Bond fucking owns. And I don't know, that wasn't like the best Bond scene with him. I don't know, it was kind of,
alright.
it was eh.
That's fine.
But I do like how she's waiting by the door and he doesn't come, and she's like, yeah. She goes to take a shower, and then who comes slithering in? I like how he's just ready to, like, he just assumes, like, if I come there, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
His clothes are off. He just walks right into the shower. He's a fucking unit. Anyways, next morning, the morning after.
Don't do that in real life. You'll catch a charge real quick.
He comes walking up to the main level of the yacht and sees her standing at the end. And lo and behold, what is before them, Dima?
What's his face?
An island.
Oh yeah, yeah. We don't see what's his face yet.
Yeah, we can't skip the island because that is probably one of the coolest ways to, like, set the tone for who we're about to meet.
Yes.
So they get to this island, and it looks like a whole civilization was there, and they just left recently too. It's not like these buildings are covered in cobwebs and no.
No, it's like Yavin 4.
And she tells Bond, like, yeah, this is what he does. Like, he makes people scared and they leave. So we got a nice build up. Silva, right? I don't have his name written down. Yeah, Silva. Okay. I like his full name. I will say it one time. Raul Silva. There we go. So yeah, Raul Silva is who she works for. And basically they get to the island and are taken immediately by military people of some kind.
Goons.
Militants, yeah, goons. Bond's taken immediately to meet Raul Silva. And he's in a room tied to a chair. And all that is in this room is towers with computers.
Yeah.
And nothing screams I'm a cyber hacker like that. Like, I was like, that's a cool setup.
Yeah.
And when he comes walking in, he just looks like, he almost looks like one of those guys that'd be like the head of a cartel organization, or, you know, like, he's got the white suit, the blonde hair, smiling, and shout out to Javier Bardem. He was in No Country for Old Men, which is a movie we also covered. He's a hell of an actor. And he's really good at playing the bad guy.
He is.
Really good at playing the bad guy. So Bond finally gets to meet not the employer, but an employer in this organization. And it's very interesting because Bond learns some things from this guy. Mm-hmm. And even though Bond probably doesn't want to believe him, it's almost as if he knows it's true. For one, we learn that Silva worked for MI6 directly under M. She betrayed him, which I can't argue that it was betrayal, honestly. She left him for dead. I can see why he felt betrayed.
I can, but after hearing her explanation later on, I understand why she did it.
Yeah, I kind of see both sides.
I do.
It's one of those things where it's like he would just have to understand where she was coming from, but he never really allowed the opportunity to do that because of his pain, which, like I said, I understand that too. So it's just one of those things that I don't know if it could go any other way.
But it also was because he did it to himself. Like, he chose that.
Yeah.
And then he just so messed up in the head where he took it as, like, you know, she just betrayed me. But, I mean, in a sense, but at the same time, you betrayed her.
Yeah.
She was trying to right
I feel
the
like
wrong.
I feel like that line of work though, because there's things with her and Bond that could definitely be looked at as like
Betrayal.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's just the line of work, and he took it personal.
Yeah, and she did say like he had some psychiatric problems prior, and as we see now, M is willing to overlook things if she thinks for the time being it's for the better good, because she's literally doing it with Bond currently, because he didn't just fail his physical evaluations, he failed his psych evaluations.
He failed at everything.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, we see that M does do this. So we have an antagonist who we can kind of empathize for a little bit, you know. We can, but it's also very interesting to have a former MI6 agent, because this guy knows how everything works, and he's also the one that got the hard drive with all of the names.
Yes.
And they've been releasing them on YouTube, and have been threatening to release more if things don't, you know. So it's been very interesting that we learn this is all coming from a guy who used to work for him. And then he tells Bond, you know, you don't think she lies to people? She's lied to you. And then says, like, you know, you failed all of your... Yeah. So, like, he's staying up to date with things in MI6 currently. Yes. Like, it's still hacked. And that's what was so cool to me is, like, wow, this guy is so ingrained in, like, everything.
Yeah, like the big bosses, whoever is in charge of this, completely used his hatred for her as their pawn.
Yeah, yeah.
And he played right into it, which, you know, sucks for his character. Like, you're being used, they know you're going to die, but they're still going to use you for their benefit at the end of the day. And it's like, you know, they're just playing on his psychological issues.
Yeah.
Which you can see very well. He plays that very well. You can see this dude's very fucked in the head just with the way he's communicating to Bond. Like, he's very, I don't know if that's going to be the right word, but he's very sadistic about it, where he's, like, so manipulative, and, you know, he's acting like they're on the same side and they're best friends and stuff like that. But he's going to still kill him afterwards.
Oh, the mind games are great.
It's fantastic.
Because not only is he almost acting like, you know, we can be allies, but he's also playing into what he already knows is there, which is Bond's fear that he is not the agent he was.
Yeah.
And, you know, he tells him, you failed all your tests. And then what's the next thing he does? He takes him out and tries to make him shoot that a bottle off of
shot glass.
A shot glass off of Severin's head. Yeah. And Bond knows he can't do it.
Yeah.
He's and then we just see, you know, Silva shoot her. Like, oops, I missed. Like, it's like, damn, dude. Now, I will say, the way they choreographed Bond getting out of that predicament was fucking badass.
Yeah, it was.
Like, you can even tell Silva was like, oh, shit, you know. Like,
he definitely thought Bond was way worse off physically than he actually... Like, don't get me wrong, he's rough.
Oh, he's bad, but he
can still throw down.
He fucking cleared.
He cleared,
dude. Again, I can't even describe that in a way that does it justice. Just fucking watch it.
You just have to watch that scene.
God.
But I knew it. That's the thing, was like, I felt like that was very predictable, the entire scene. I'm like, okay, so here we are. As soon as I saw him...
Had you predicted the tracker? I forgot about it. I'll be honest.
I forgot about that. Okay, I didn't predict that. But
that was a cool surprise.
That was when I saw Severin standing against that wall. I'm like, okay, he's going to kill her.
Oh, yeah, she was gone.
Silva's going to kill her.
Yeah.
I don't know how. You know, what he's going to do exactly, but he's going to kill her. And then Bond is going to clear this house, and Bond's not going to give a... Or not this house, but this area. And Bond's not going to give a fuck about her. And that's exactly what happened. And it really clicked when his goon puts his... Whether it was, I think it was a 45 or maybe a 9mm up to Bond's head that close. I was like, that right there is what Bond's going to use to clear this place, and that's exactly what happened.
That is exactly what happened. Yeah.
So
I'll be honest, like, you know, I watched these movies when they came out. That was the last. I only watched this movie once before. I didn't remember a lot about it. I couldn't remember what happened in this. Like, I was like, yeah, she's definitely gonna die because either Bond's gonna miss or Silva's just gonna kill her.
Right.
Like, Bond is the kiss of death. If he has a one night stand with you, you're
done.
gonna die. We've seen that time and time again. So, anyways, I knew she was dead, but I was like, I don't remember where this goes afterwards. I knew that Silva got captured at some point. I just didn't know how it led to that. But when Bond like whips out that little tiny fucking radio and he's like, and then fucking MI6 copters just, I was like, dude.
No, that was really cool.
The cavalry has arrived.
All about that.
So cool.
But the way he timed it, I was like, oh my God. Like, he did this perfectly.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to how intelligent Bond's character actually is, where he's like aware of every little detail of everything around him, even if he is, not physically and mentally the way he normally is. Like, he's still a very intelligent person without all that.
So this is going to lead into a big problem I have with this movie. We have been introduced to probably, I'm going to say probably because it's tough, because Christoph Waltz, who is in later movies, is one of the best Bond villains, but like ever.
Yeah.
But in terms of a Bond villain for a singular movie, I think Javier Bardem's character Silva is top tier.
Yeah.
I like his backstory. I like his aesthetic. I like a bad guy who's definitely a sociopath,
Yes.
and he sells that very well.
Yes, he does.
So I was sold on him as soon as he came walking in the room to talk to Bond. I was like, yes. But in terms of editing the film, and honestly writing, because I don't think the movie was cut down that much. I mean, this movie's over 2 hours.
This movie,
I think...
I'm beyond. So I wanted to get an hour and a half into this movie last night and then watch an hour and a half today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily an hour and a half.
It's almost 3 hours.
It's an hour and 25 minutes. But I was like, dude, it's getting dark a little earlier now. 8:30, it was pitch black. I was sitting on the couch watching this, and I was exhausted like it was midnight.
Yeah.
I had to shut it off, and I had to start again today. And I'm glad I did because of his character. I wouldn't be able to appreciate his character's like psychology if I would have stayed up and watched it.
Dude, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just saying all that, I'm 100% backing everything you're saying about
that's
a psychopath as a bad guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And like how great, especially in a Bond film, and especially when they're as intelligent, if not, I would argue Silva is more intelligent than Bond.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
100%. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Oh,
and
he's able to hack MI6.
Exactly.
I don't think Bond could do that.
I don't think Bond
could.
Not by himself. He'd have to contract it out to somebody like Silva.
No.
And, so I'm just, all that just to say, like, yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying right now and all that.
So getting back into my complaint, this is honestly the biggest reason why this movie isn't, like, a hole-in-one for me, honestly, because it has elements that can make this a really good Bond movie. You introduce this awesome antagonist, Silva, and I'm like, hell yeah. But I'm going to say I don't think it's an editing sample. I think they wrote it this way. I don't like how fast we go from him being captured to him being escaped to his demise. Like, it just feels like a very, like, the build up to his introduction is like a nice big arc. Yes. And then here's his introduction, and then boop.
No, it's a little hill.
It feels like a little blip on the radar almost, because from here, like, I can literally break down the movie in like 30 seconds from here and not really miss that much. He gets captured at MI6, which that was on par with Heath Ledger's Joker being at Gotham PD for me. I love that. I love his interaction with M. I love when her and Bond are walking away, and he's like, you know what is the chemical, he says?
Cyanide.
You know what it does to the human? Yeah, and then he, like, takes out his freaking partial.
I have to stop you right there, because I've been wanting to talk about that.
Okay.
So
can we come back to it?
Yes.
Okay. Because he takes that out, shows the deformity, and it's like, okay, got the Bond with the face fuck up, cool, like the Bond villain with the face fuck up. Because we didn't have that in the last movie. That was a little complaint I had. But anyways, he reveals that, and she's just like, oh my god, all right, let's get out of here. But then you got Q, who tries to like decrypt his laptop, Silva's laptop, plugs it into their servers. Of course, it hacks their servers. Very
I
predictable.
don't know why he would have done that. Like
that was predictable, but it also reminded me of Heath Ledger's Joker because
with the
Heath Ledger's Joker willingly got captured because he had a bomb, like literally a ticking bomb, waiting for his escape.
Yeah, as soon as
Silva had the same
Yes.
fucking thing. Brilliant, dude. I love that. So the writing's great right here. But after that, Silva escapes. Bond chases him through London's underground.
Yep.
M's at Parliament trying to basically save her ass. Silva knows she's there, tries to go kill her. Bond stops it.
Yes.
Bond then almost stops him. Real quick, that bomb in the tunnel that like opens up the hole in the fucking
Okay, I
train
wasn't
comes in.
expecting that. I'm not
Badass. But then from there, Bond's like, let's go to my family home. It's Skyfall. It's in fucking the Highlands of Scotland.
Right.
They go there. They booby trap it. Here comes fucking Silva and his army. Blah, 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 blah. He's dead. It's like, I don't know. It's like when he's introduced, it is just nonstop. Silva's doing things and then dead.
Yeah.
I wish there had been space between, like, say he's captured for a little bit. But
Yes.
while he's captured, there's shit still happening.
Yes.
And that's when they're like, okay, there's still, like, someone he answers to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I felt like with this movie,
He just takes over.
and that's the thing is with this movie, like without watching the last one, this movie specifically, if you just watch this, it could be a one and done. I feel like because of that, not because it was good enough, but because it seemed like you said, it seemed like everything just stopped.
Yeah.
So it's been real. We summed up the movie. Thanks for tuning in this week. But no, back to his face deformity.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so glad. Not that I'm complaining about Mads.
Nicholson.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
His character with his eye. It was very nice to see. Like he's deformed, but it's not like so obvious and so like, oh, you're
Mhm.
such a bad guy kind of thing. Like with his, thing that fixes it. He looks like a normal guy, but when he takes it out, it means so much more than others dudes just deformed.
Yeah.
It makes it that much more creepy versus, or I guess uncomfortable, more say than anything else. But I loved when he did that, and that whole scene with him being in there and the interaction. When he stands up and he starts stretching and he starts zipping up his, his prison uniform, and the guard's just sitting there like, "You getting ready to go somewhere?" And he just gives that grin. I was like, how's he getting out of this? I knew he was escaping.
Yeah.
I expected explosions. I expected his people to storm MI6.
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. It was very Silva character-esque of him
Mhm.
to do it that way. But
Yeah,
I
'cause
feel
he's
like
smarter
it was,
than that.
Right, but I feel like it was a flaw on Q's part. Because they put Q as this highly intelligent person who is very good with computers.
He is young.
He is young. I'll
He's
give him
young.
that.
There's that.
So he has that to fall back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, when I'm picturing this dude, I'm picturing this guy going to the best computer schools, MIT or, the equivalent of it anywhere around the world.
Yeah.
Multiple schools like that. Grew up putting a computer together by the time he was born in the womb. Like, I just feel like he would have been smarter than that. But like you said, he's young, he's inexperienced in this world more likely than not. So that would make it make sense.
Silva being a guy who is able to look at a person and basically know how their brain works just from like their rap sheet.
Yes.
I could believe that, he knew Bond failed his test. He knows that MI6 has just recently hired a new quartermaster.
Exactly.
Who's young and thinks he's hot shit and he's going to make mistakes.
And that's the thing is if he was
they
able
just got
to,
they think they just got the big bad. Q's like, oh yeah. I'm
Played
gonna-
right
I'm gonna-
into
I'm gonna
this.
Encrypt this thing. Like, let's get in this bad boy.
But I
just
agree.
think there was no like, I don't know.
See, what they couldn't have made this movie longer. They would have lost you. I feel like if this movie was longer, it was already a very long
Yeah.
movie.
I'm
What
not
they
saying
should
it
have
should be
done-
longer.
Which I feel like you're about to agree with exactly what I'm about to say. They should have brought him in a little sooner.
Okay, yeah, they should have brought him in sooner. And here's my thing. The last movie, Quantum of Solace, it ends with Felix getting promoted, right?
Yes.
Big deal.
Yes.
He's not in this movie at all.
Not at all.
And
Surprising.
and that's the thing that bothers me is all these Bond movies, They make you feel like it's a big world thing
Yes.
that Bond is just kind of driving through the middle of and trying to play his cards with all these different entities. This movie is just solely an MI6 drama.
Which is why I say you could watch it by itself.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's a great story.
It is.
But my writing issue is that
I agree.
if you're going to put it with a greater story, you need to still keep playing on that. So, like, when they capture Silva, that's why I'm saying I wish there would have been something going on still with the greater organization that Silva works for to make them have to interact with, like, Felix. Felix is like, well, you guys got this guy captured, but blah, blah, blah. You know, like, but no, there's none of that. As soon as he gets captured, this movie is just totally, like, diving into this story, and that's it.
But do we want to say that's a writing aspect, or do we want to say that that is a directional aspect from the director?
I think it's a writing thing. I think they were, like, just trying to, like, go down this deep dive of, like, a history of MI6.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. That makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's like, that's cool, but you can do that while still telling the greater story.
No, okay. I'm
and
tracking.
that's my issue is, like, you could have introduced Silva a little sooner. Like, let's be honest, we don't need to have Bond hooking up with some lady that, you know, like,
No, it's useless and filler.
him going to the yacht, sleeping with her, waking up on the yacht, that could have been cut down to him literally just waking up on the yacht. We would have assumed, okay, he made it to the yacht. He probably hooked up with her, cool. But you got stuff like that where it's like, we could have gotten a Silva being introduced sooner.
Yep.
And that would have allowed for maybe, I'll be honest, my complaint could be completely wiped away with just like an added 6 minutes of otherworldly stuff. Like, even if there was just a phone conversation where, like, Felix calls, the newly promoted Felix calls Bond and is like, hey, I know you guys got stuff going on, but we still got blah, blah. But no, it's literally just like, oh, drama on MI6.
No, it just regurgitated throughout the entire time.
It just keeps regurgitating this story until it's over. And it's just like,
no, I agree. I agree with that. I think this movie.
But it also, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it ruins Silva for me because I actually was annoyed with Silva. Yeah. I'll be honest. At the end of this movie, it just feels like you're playing a video game and you think you beat the bad guy for the time being, but it's like, no, round 2, round 3. It just, like, the hits just keep on fucking coming.
Bowser
the
comes.
only break we get is when he takes M to Skyfall and they booby trap the house. That's it. Otherwise, from the time Felix is introduced on the island, Silva. Sorry, yeah. Silva. And it's just like, damn, dude. Like, the reason I love Christoph Waltz character in these films, which I'm not gonna say too much because I know you haven't seen him yet, but like, he is like his screen time, and don't let this deter you. It's minimal.
See, I like that though because it makes it so much more.
Yeah, when you get him, it's like, oh my god, dude! Like that to me makes a bad guy better because he has things so well set up. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to speak. He doesn't need to be seen.
Well, that's the thing is, like, if it's done well, even if the bad guy is pretty much the entire movie, it can still be done right. Mm-hmm. But they didn't set it up to be able to do that with Silva's character. I liked his character, I liked his intelligence, and I liked the fact that he had MI6 background.
Yeah.
Because I think that played into his character very well, and I think that played into the plot itself, where if he didn't have that background and he didn't fail his psychological test that we found out about, he would not be the guy he is, and he would not be a problem for M or MI6.
Yeah.
Oh. I just thought, never mind. I was thinking M is like the lead of MI6, but they call her M because M is in the beginning of MI6, like the top. First thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm slow.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But,
okay, I'm going to say something really quick just to really sum up my complaint. My complaint is that we get too much of our antagonist, which that might sound weird, but I think it takes away from their mystique and what makes you excited to see them. Yeah. Like, again, I compared him to Heath Ledger's Joker. You can do that several times in this movie. He dresses up like a police officer. He infiltrates. Yep. It's like, was
It's
kind of
almost
like
like
some
they-
nods.
Yeah,
you know,
I was about
which
to
is
say. I
cool.
was like,
I wasn't like, oh, like they need to be original. Or
yeah,
whatever.
no, I
It
didn't
was
think they
cool.
ripped off Heath Ledger at all.
It was cool, but it's like one thing I loved about Heath Ledger's Joker. His screen time in that movie, I think, is like 10 or 12 minutes. It's not a lot, and it's
Oh, seriously? Dude, I feel like there's so
But-
much more of him in a good way.
And most of that is in the fucking chase on the bike when he's in.
See, that's what I keep
That-
thinking of. Is
So
that
besides that, you've got him talking to the bad guys. You've got him doing the let's do tryouts. You
Yeah.
got that. You got him in the like short news clips,
no, you're
right?
right.
And then you've got his interaction at the. He shows up to that cocktail party, and then his interaction at the end of the movie with Batman.
Less is more.
Exactly. Like it's
No,
just,
I see. I feel like
it makes it like he's out in the world.
Yeah.
You know he's causing these things to happen, but you don't
Yes.
have to see him doing these things.
And that's
Like-
the thing is like scenes with Silva, you could have easily made it to where his goons were. You could have replaced him with his goons, and it would have been just as big of a problem.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm actually gonna look up Heath Ledger's screen time. I'm curious now. Well, first we'll look up the runtime for The Dark Knight, and then we'll see. So The Dark Knight runtime, 2 hours 32 minutes. Okay. Heath Ledger's screen time.
33 minutes.
Okay, so out of a 2.5 hour movie, he's got
2 hours without him.
not even half the movie.
No.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's awkward. Misspelled screen.
You look up Javier Bardem's screen time in this. We don't need to because literally he is
The
in
entire movie.
the second half of the movie, except for when they go to Scotland. That's the only break we get from his character, and it's too much. That's my complaint. We got too much of the antagonist in the movie. That's a weird thing to complain about, and it sucks because again, I think he would go down as one of the best. Like he is a great Bond villain. Like
Yes.
on paper and the way Javier Bardem portray, like I have no complaints with Javier Bardem.
No.
It's the writing. It
Yeah.
is strictly the fucking writing. I don't know. But here's the other thing: you're gonna introduce this bad guy who can do, like, he can hack MI6, he can do all these crazy things, and then just he's gone. Like
Yeah.
he's not shown in another movie or like. It's just like here's this cool thing. Let's get him out of here. Let's move on to the rest of the story. And it's like
I feel like he should have been a bigger part.
we could have broke this up a little
Yeah.
bit better. Right? That's what I mean. If they had shown more of the other world stuff going on, that this organization that Silva works for is still very much doing out there,
Yeah.
this could have ended with him still being out in the world, you know?
Yeah.
And that would have been cool too. Because you'll see in the other movies, like, there are other people in this organization still. Like, there's
Sure.
a lot of heads on the snake.
See what it's kind of funny. The things I like about this movie isn't really involved with him at all, other than like
No.
his character's
That's
background.
what I mean. That's what I'm saying. On paper, this character is awesome,
Fucking awesome.
but the way they wrote him into the movie, it's too much.
Yeah.
It just, again, I was annoyed with him. Like, we'll go ahead and just kind of get to the ending of this because, like, honestly, I don't. Is there anything you really want to talk about before we get to Scotland?
Oh, Scott. No.
That's not.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, just to recap, Silva escapes because young ignorant Q so ready to like hack it or
Serve.
break into his laptop that they confiscated. It hacks MI6 new location. Their electronic cell is open. Silva escapes. Bond chases him, stops him from possibly assassinating him, and then only gets away because he had bombs planted already in the tunnel they happen to be in, and a fucking train comes through the ceiling and almost takes Bond out.
And we got to see our wonderful Helen McQuarrie, who played Aunt Paula, I think, Aunt something, and Peaky Blinders.
Oh, hey, you're.
So
I have not watched Peaky Blinders.
been 2 years, but
I like shows where I can understand what people are saying.
rest in peace to her, Polly, yeah, and Paul. But it was just nice seeing her in another thing. She wasn't really important at all, but
I'm glad she did something else besides Peaky Blinders because I would have never seen her.
But no, back to Scotland. I thought that entire writing aspect for that was a very emotional thing for Bond to go through, and it was really cool to see his background with that. And
one thing I want to highlight before we jump into it.
Okay.
I like Bond's intelligence playing into what he has learned about his opposition, and that is that this guy is obsessed with getting M.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now, he lets Q, and because he talks to Q and Tanner about leaving the digital breadcrumbs, electronic, whatever, that he knows Silva will follow. So he takes M to his family home called Skyfall, which is in the Highlands of Scotland. Yep. Beautiful country.
Wonderful.
That's the thing I love about all these movies is all the different
filming locations.
Because they film on location, which is really cool. But anyways, so takes her to the family home, and we have I'm trying to remember his name. Give me 1 second. I'm so terrible with names. What's his name?
Kincaid.
Thank you. Gosh. Kincaid, who's the groundskeeper for Skyfall, or I don't know what he is.
Yeah, so I the way I saw him was kind of like
Caretaker?
Albert for Bruce. He just kind of took care
Alfred?
Alfred. What did I say?
Albert. Are you hungover too?
I'm not. Wow. Okay,
Are you
Alfred.
getting secondhand hangover?
Yes. No, but Alfred for Bruce Wayne. He kind of just took care of the property.
That's what I mean. He's like, I don't know.
Over the
but
place
so
and
he's
Bond.
there. He's like shocked to see James.
Yep.
So they've got history. And then I kind of like that whole booby trapping sequence. Like that's kind of cool. Like they know Silva's gonna come with a full fucking army.
Yeah.
Like, so the booby trap in the house is pretty cool.
Which really shows more into M's character, where she wasn't always this lady behind the desk. Like
she was in the field.
She was 100%.
She was in the field.
A double agent at one point in time.
Yep.
And I feel like, well, I'll get to that later. But like, you could definitely tell like she's had field experience. She definitely is a lot more badass than just some random desk. Person. So it was really cool to see that. It was very nice to see them give her that kind of send off.
I like the scene where they have the house booby trapped and they're just kind of sitting and waiting.
Mm-hmm.
That is one part of this movie, and again, it's coming back to the writing. I don't feel like there's a lot of room to breathe in this movie.
Oh, that scene.
There was a little bit of breathe. Like they kind of wait, and the way they film it, they just show like the mountainside and everything, and like I'm sitting there looking like. Where are they at? Where are they at? And then you kind of see those figures in the distance. It's like, oh.
Figures, the
have
dogs
arrived.
start barking.
But that was cool. And I knew, I was like, Silva's not going to be with them yet. Like, that would be.
And Bond Amy says it, like, always making an entrance with a helicopter.
Yeah. Which, I don't want to, like, skip over because it's pretty insane, like, that whole sequence of, like, his goons, as you've been calling them. Like their big shootout with M,
Kincaid.
God, why do I keep wanting to call him Cascade? Like he's a freaking dishwasher. So Cascade and M and Bond with the shootouts, and you see how some of the booby traps work into that. That was cool. But
it was cool to see her. Like,
and M gets
together.
wounded. That's where M gets wounded. That's important.
Yeah, I knew she got shot.
Is that her femoral artery she gets hit in?
Is
it up there? I don't know why I thought it was in her leg.
No, because
it is her.
Side.
It's an abdominal wound. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking, her femoral would have went faster than that.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I don't have a nitpick. But anyways, yeah. So she gets wounded. It's like, oh shit. Okay. Now this was cool. You got a priest hole, which I guess that's like a common thing for older estates in Scotland. So that was a cool little thing to implement. And priest tools basically it was a underground way for a priest who had a residency on the grounds in which their chapel was on, for them to arrive mysteriously into the chapel without people seeing. So you got an underground tunnel that Bond is able to have M and Cascade use to Kincaid. I'll say his name. Kincaid.
Cascade.
They get to the chapel, which that was cool because who do we see coming over the mountain in a fucking attack helicopter?
Good old
Silva.
Silva.
Dude,
Always making an entrance.
I put in here. I was like, Silva arrives by helicopter. Fat check mark. I was like, that
was pretty awesome.
That's boss mode.
No, it was.
And if we hadn't seen him for a while, that would have been really fucking cool.
It would have made it better.
It would have kind of reminded me, I'm going to reference a Joker again, but Jared Leto's Joker from Suicide Squad. When that bird starts turning and he's just in there with the freaking mini. Oh, dude, that's so cool. But anyways, that would have been a killer, like, oh shit, yeah, Silva's out there.
Yeah.
You know, but we've seen a lot of Silva at this point.
Yeah, I was actually more excited to see his goons than I was of him.
I was annoyed with I remember when I was watching this, I was like, oh, yep, there he is. Bond, please get rid of him.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. Anyways, the helicopter was cool. He's spraying the fucking house, and I'm just like, how the fuck is Bond getting out of this? Well, he kind of rigs up some propane tanks.
Yes, he did.
he takes care of him. Now, I will say they did something. And I know the director did this, again, as a nod to the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies. When Bond knows that Silva's just going to get right up on that house because he wants to fucking eradicate whoever's inside, he knew that he'd get super close to the propane. There'd be a big explosion. So he goes for the priest tool. Yep. And like a Pierce Brosnan on the snowy mountainside, he got the explosion behind Bond right as he jumps. But I like how they did it because they still played into the fact that this Bond doesn't just jump for no fucking reason. Yeah. He turns the corner, and it's almost like the explosion through his body. Yeah. Like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, there's going to be an explosion. Yeah, but it was still, I was just kind of like, oh. You know, one of those moments.
Little nod.
So that was cool. But who comes walking out of that fire, Dima? What is that when you see coming walk out the fire?
Good old Silva. Hurt, angry, hateful.
He busted.
Sees the light. You know what really bothers me about that? Kincaid. Somebody who grew up pretty much on the grounds, been there forever. He needs a flashlight to get to the freaking chapel?
He's old, Nemo. He can't see. It's nighttime. It's nightfall at Skyfall.
He needs a flash. I get the tunnel. The tunnel makes sense.
He needed Silva to know where he was at.
Like,
Silva takes care of me.
Shut it off.
I think he wanted shot, Dima.
He was just ready to roll.
How long has he been? Can we talk about poor old Kincaid? How long has he been at this damn house in the middle of nowhere in Scotland by himself? He sees Bond and he thinks it's like fucking 1984. He's like, wait, I got a beard? What? I got an AARP subscription? What?
He kind of looks like
It would have been funny if they like passed the mailbox and it's just got a log of mail shoved into it. Like Kincaid hasn't kept up with shit. He's just been waiting for Bond to come in from playtime.
From playtime? 30 years later.
Dude, he might be a loony. We don't know. He does turn on that damn flashlight. Like, come takes care of me, Silva.
I was just like, oh, of course.
Silva does take care of him.
I will say they did surprise me with one thing in the scene.
Really?
Yes. I fully expected Kincaid just to get shot.
Yes.
And die. And he didn't.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, nothing about the ending surprised me. But
it wasn't anything important, but
I didn't really see a reason for him to get shot.
Well,
he was no threat.
No, he wasn't. But I just anticipated he was going to die in that house. And he didn't when all the bullets were flying. Like, I thought he was going to die. I'm going to be honest. No, then I thought when he turned the corner...
He actually takes care of him. I'm not being funny.
Pointed the gun at him. Silva points the gun at Kincaid. I thought he was going to just get shot right then, too. Like, all right, you're annoying kind of deal. And it didn't happen. So, I mean, it wasn't important to the story at all.
That's how Kincaid becomes a Sith, Dima.
Yeah.
He joins the dark side. No, but
Uh,
all right. So we'll get past Hop along with his flashlight. So yeah, needless to say, you got the light tower in the yard. You're gonna go to it
that
if you're
thing
the
was
bad.
so freaking bright.
Here's your target.
Dude, that literally would have, like, you could see it going like this, like, we're over here.
Well, yeah. So Silva, who survives the grotesque explosion somehow, comes limping on down to the chapel.
He's hurting.
And I gotta say, I love that scene with him and M.
No, I did too.
Again, that plays into the psyche of our antagonist. He's wanted to kill her for over 20 years.
Yeah.
He has her at gunpoint. And what does he do? He puts the gun in her hand. Puts his head next to hers.
Say, shoot us both. Take us both out.
He just wants to die, but he has to know that she's dying too.
Yes.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of reminded me of like a Joker-esque scene.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you.
This character is Joker.
They had lightning in a bottle with this villain, and they fucked it up.
Yes.
That is just my opinion. He's a Bond villain you can make action figures out of. You can make a video game where like it's like prior to this movie, and maybe another MI6 agent you're playing in the video game, but like he would have been a great villain to really dive into more.
I would be okay to watch a short series based on his character before this movie.
Like an Anakin origin.
Well,
or you just mean him as the bad guy still?
Him as the bad guy, but you're like following him and his like time of getting ready and doing the things he needs to do to kill him. Like he's just that. I feel like he's just that badass of a bad guy.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when we finish these movies, and I'll bring this back up again, you're gonna want to have a mini series that shows the other side of things when it comes to these movies, because when you realize what's going on with these movies, Dima, it's wild.
I'm gonna have to watch it all over again.
It's wild.
I'm ready.
I'll just say it. This Bond run ends with a lot of questions unanswered for
That's
me.
gonna piss me off.
It does, but it's also brilliant. It's so well done. It's not like lazy. It's not lazy writing. It's like, to me, if you can tell a whole story and end it like you end the main point of the story very well, but then you also open up another door to possibly more stories, you have written a very good story.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, you have done your job well.
I'm here for it then.
And that's what sucks about this is like all these movies are doing that for me, but this one kind of ventures away from it with this whole inner drama with MI6. It
almost feels like, for the Obi-Wan show specifically, episode 3 of that series.
Mm-hmm.
It was a filler episode, nice, and
buckets.
Nothing really happened, and you could have done away with it and still continue the story.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I feel like this movie is just a filler movie to like almost take a break of. That's a Reese's. That's a Reese's.
I'm looking for a crisp, fresh, minty York.
Oh, yeah, that's to your left.
Peppermint patty. Your left or my
Your
left?
left.
We
Down.
both have the same lefty.
Yes, we do. All right. Now throw that out of the way. Yes. Now go down. Right there.
Feels like a claw machine.
That's what I was thinking.
But I can't see in the window. Oh, yes.
I forgot what I was saying.
I'm gonna let the viewers, listeners, just get a little touchy with my York peppermint patty.
Very aesthetic sounding.
ASMR. Why the? I should never drink alcohol, Dima. It's bad.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Have you ever bitten one of these and like acted like you just drank a fresh cold drink?
No, but I bit into
it's
it
really
and acted like
refreshing.
I've been on their commercials.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's caught up on the mic there. Like,
so minty. Exactly, yes. I don't think we're ever going to see Felix again. Dave Bautista?
oh, Dima, don't you worry. You got surprises coming. IMDb is letting surprises come to be.
I'm just on Google.
Okay, well, don't go on IMDb then.
Okay.
Just be pleasantly surprised.
Gotcha.
There's things coming, Nemo.
I need it. I don't need
Spectre?
another movie like this.
Spectre is going to open your bag of popcorn
And butter all over it.
and put its popcorn in your popcorn. I don't even know what that means.
Ew.
I don't even know what that fucking means. It wants to share your butter.
It was. Oh god, it's making it worse.
God damn it. We need Jordan on here. Jordan keeps us like
Tamed.
tamed a little bit. He'll be like, all right, guys, we're 25 years. Well, not me. I'm 40, but I don't know, Deem.
I still laugh about that part where we were talking about what we were gonna watch. I was like, "Hey Jordan, what do you think of Blue Beetle?" He goes, "What's that?" And then he gets mad that I'm not answering.
Blue Beetle?
And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, DC," and he goes, "No, I'm 25 years old."
Like, that doesn't mean shit, dude.
Right.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, Jordan watches those movies. He just
Yes, he
tries
does.
to act like he's too cool for things.
Yes.
He's watched Joker,
Yes.
the Batman.
Yes.
He's watched the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean,
He's a Star Wars fan.
yeah.
He likes it. Don't let him lie to you.
The only thing he hasn't watched is Disney movies. But that's just because he grew up not watching. Like, he
Yeah,
just
that's
never. That actually really surprises me.
Same. We'll
That
get him
will
watching
change,
Disney
though.
movies
Oh, yeah, that's going to change. Don't you worry.
for the podcast.
Anyways, back to this movie.
I don't even know where we're
we're
at.
almost there. So,
Oh yeah, he has the gun to
yeah.
M's head. But
Okay.
I love that.
We got some symbolism here. So, wouldn't you say that he looks at M as a backstabber?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
Silva.
Yes, I see exactly what you're going with this.
And so then he gets a knife to the
Knife through the
back
back.
from Bond.
It was
this
so
director, man. The directing
all
is
about
great. The
symbolism.
directing is great. Yeah.
But it was
very
so
well.
nice to see that he died after that, and he didn't like just pull it out and just
Oh,
go.
he's already survived an explosion.
yeah,
He's
like,
survived fucking.
It was nice that he wasn't
cyanide
immortal.
and whatever. I mean, he's.
I don't understand how he survived that cyanide.
But he's
Wow.
been through it. It was time for him to go,
no, it was. I just
and he
wish
was
we had
aware
more.
of that. You know, like that's what I mean. Like
He was definitely ready to die.
he was
It was
on
very
what he
obvious.
looked at as a suicide mission. That's why he was willing to drive that helicopter into the house and just freaking like shoot and spray and like
Spray
I
and
was blow
paint.
the whole fucking thing
Right.
up. Like now, I will say, it's interesting to me. Like, do you think he came walking out of that fire knowing he didn't kill M, or do you think that good old cascade out there was the reason he was like, oh wait, they
No,
left the house?
He definitely thought that he killed her in that house and she died in that house until he saw that light.
It would have been interesting to like add again, let some breathing room. He walks out of that house, he doesn't see anybody, and he like kind of kneels down and puts a gun to his head.
Oh.
And then he's about to pull the trigger,
And then the light.
and you see Kincaid with the flashlight, and he's just like, you know, like
See, I would have been okay with that. Like when they were in the church, after they get to the church and then they turn the flashlight on,
that's
and
what I'm
that's when
saying.
he sees it.
Like he doesn't
That's what I
see
would have been
anything,
okay
and
with.
he's like, I did it.
Yes.
But then he's like, now it's my time.
Yes. Yeah, no, I feel like that would have been such a very impactful.
They could have played. That's what I'm saying. They could have played more with this character. The writing failed him as a character. They just it
did.
failed him. But again, I think that's because they made the mistake of not playing into the greater story that they're trying to tell.
Yes.
That's where they could have filled this space that they were trying to cram with
very-
Silva. It's like,
Who wrote this movie?
yeah, who needs fired?
I wasn't going that far.
Neil Purvis. That's why your name rhymes with pervert. Robert Wade. That's why your name rhymes with I don't know what Robert Wade rhymes with. That's why your name rhymes with Bobbert.
Bobbert.
John Logan. That's right. That's why your name rhymes with slogan. Logan. Wait, Hogan. That's why your name rhymes with Hogan. Because you're old and lame.
Yeah.
And you got no monies.
So. No, Wade was involved. Seriously? Oh my god, I hate ads more than anything. Wade was involved with the writing of Quantum of Solace.
Who was new in this equation? Because they need.
So Paul Haggis, and Neil Purvis was the writers for Solace with Robert. Oh my God, I'm malfunctioning right now.
I recommend alcohol the night before the podcast, Nemo. It gives you nice brain fog.
Why does he look familiar?
Well, that's what I'm getting into. This guy's done some movies that I like.
I haven't seen 1917.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. We gotta finish the Bond talk. I'm just getting this ready. Yeah, there's some stuff on
Shrek the
here.
musical. There's a musical.
Hold
Okay, Bond.
Yeah, Bond. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. All right, so
Okay.
he kills Silva.
Yes.
M dies,
Yes.
and I'll be honest, it was time.
It was. So the reason
Judi Dench has served.
Yeah, no. So I looked up why they killed her character off.
Okay,
It was reported that I'll just read the whole paragraph.
dude, I need to get a seltzer.
Okay. No, thank you, sir. I don't drink that filth. But the paragraph says Judi Dench, who played M, was 78 when Skyfall was released and was finding it harder and harder to read scripts and remember lines. Rather than wait for her to retire or become unable to work in between films, they opted to give her character a proper send-off.
Oh my god, so good.
From Quora.com, it says.
How old was she?
At the time of this release was 78. She's 88 now.
Dude, that's fascinating. Look, I'm not gonna say she looks young. Judi Dench looked about the same from, I'll say, 89 until this movie coming out.
No, she did. She didn't.
She
age
found
at
a
all.
great way to like stay looking the same age. I guess
Yeah.
is what I'm getting at. So,
No, she looked
and
good.
she did so good in this role.
She did. I'm definitely gonna miss seeing her, but
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what though.
I love the send
These movies to come, you will be very happy with where it goes.
Okay.
Because there's a new relationship that is formed. The dynamic is
Bond and
completely
Moneypenny.
no.
Oh, the new M.
It's completely different than what Bond has with Judi Dench's M, but it's good.
Oh. Okay.
I'm a big fan.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say it. This Bond run, it makes decisions that a lot of people aren't happy with. I love them.
Oh.
Love them. I'm gonna say it, man. It's gonna be hard for whatever new James Bond comes to be here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for them to do anything different because I feel like this series did those things.
Yeah.
It took those risks. I don't know. So unless they do like James Bond in space.
No, never. Never.
But anyways, yeah, so M dies, then, which I'm not gonna just try to act like it's not a big deal, but I did think it was time, and it sounds like in real life it was actually time as well, which is sad. But in terms of this story, you can only do the whole like M and Bond conflicts. That thing gets old very quick. It got old in the Pierce Brosnan run.
Yeah.
You know, that was a complaint we had. So it's like, just excluding real world stuff in story, I was okay with it.
I was too.
Just to see what new elements it would introduce.
I liked how, but I feel like they did it with such, I don't know any other word, grace for her character.
Yeah.
It was a very emotional way that
Tastefully done.
Tastefully. Yeah,
Yes,
that's perfect.
Who is blowing up my phone? Oh, we got Jordan.
I just, the way it was filmed, the way she died was very emotional. It was very tastefully done. I don't know any other thing to say about it other than that. I really liked the send off for her character.
Yeah.
And then after
Silva won, by the way.
yeah, he did.
He got what he wanted.
He did.
He doesn't know it,
No.
but yeah, he won.
Also that car chase scene in the beginning of the movie, that was practical.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I actually wrote down. That's the first thing I wrote down. Istanbul chasing. Fat check mark.
Yeah.
So
Very
yeah,
practical.
I know that's in the beginning of the movie. We kind of jumped over that, but that was really well done. And that leads into the bikes on the rooftop. And all
It
that
does,
stuff.
which
Yeah.
the bikes on the rooftop was more important to me.
Okay, now Now, the ending of this movie is cool because it's kind of setting up what you're going to experience in the next film.
Yes.
We see Moneypenny is stepping down from field service to be secretary to. Mm-hmm.
I really like the way they brought. Wow. Let's try that again. I really like the way they brought Moneypenny into this.
It's like an origin almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see that. I don't even remember who that actress is for her.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I did away with it. Anyway, I think she portrays Moneypenny very well. I like their casting for her character. It's very satisfied with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. I like how these movies are ending with people kind of stepping into a role. Like I said, in Quantum of Solace, we have Felix stepping up to be in charge of the CIA for South America. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a new M, and that is what's his name? Mallory.
Yes.
Mallory. Yeah. So yeah, the guy who was trying to push her into retirement is now sitting in her chair. Very interesting.
That is very interesting. It almost made me feel like he was trying to take on that role.
It's almost like it was a part of a greater picture.
Yeah, like he's actually on the bad guy's side. Did they actually take that train through there? They did.
They did. No, that I was gonna bring that up at the end. That's a fun fact.
Oh, sorry, I'm watching the behind the scenes part.
Yeah, that's a fun fact. That the train through
Wow.
the ceiling that almost kills Bond is real. So
Oh wow. Okay.
they wrecked that shit.
Yeah, no, they destroyed that.
Which, if you look at it, it's like, I mean, CGI can look almost 100% real.
Yes.
I mean, look at Avatar, but it's like that looked real.
Yeah,
Like,
that I was wondering
Yeah.
that. But
Bond also got Daniel Craig also got injured a lot in this movie
I believe that, dude.
Okay.
He put his body through this fucking.
because
the
Spectre was originally going to be his last James Bond movie.
Really?
Yes. And he came back for one more after some negotiations and stuff, and his wife was not happy about it.
Oh shit, dude.
But it's because of the physical toll it was having on him
I bet, dude.
as a real person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
No, doing your own
this
stunts.
movie,
Doing the stunts puts you
this
through.
movie kicked his ass, and Spectre was supposed to be the big finale, which it feels like that, and that's
Yeah.
why it's so fucking cool that then you get basically a part 2, because Spectre kind of ends on a cliffhanger,
Okay.
and it's cool that like we get this other movie that wasn't supposed to happen,
Right.
because it is so fucking good too. Like, I'm so ready to get into them. But yeah. So, anyways, we got a new M. Moneypenny stepped into the secretary position, which we are familiar with in the previous Bond movies. And Bond is ready for duty.
Yes,
We
he
end
is.
with him clean cut, looking good, ready to get back out there. He's got an assignment and he's ready to go. So that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, I feel like Mallory is working with the bad guys.
You aren't even ready, Dean. You aren't. I'm not just trying to like overhype it. The masterful storytelling that you're about to witness, so good.
I'm excited.
It's so good, man. Like, it is the best like spy espionage drama. Like,
Yeah.
it's so top tier, man. It's so good. Give me Christoph Waltz. God. Anyways.
He's such a god tier actor.
Yeah, he is. Now, we've had a lot of praise for the director in this movie. That was definitely my biggest compliment. Again, I think he created the best sequence of Bond scenes I've ever witnessed. Now, Sam Mendes, who is a knight,
Mm-hmm.
Sir Sam Mendes, he has done a lot of movies that I am a big fan of. And I didn't realize that until this movie because I like to look up the directors and see what else they've done. Road to Perdition, which I'm a Tom Hanks fan. I will watch any movie that Tom Hanks is in. So this is on the list of one of my more favorite Tom Hanks movies. Great thriller drama. Highly recommend it. That is his first credited film too. So what an entry.
Oh, wow.
What an entry as a director.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Revolutionary Road. You want to talk about a freaking that's another drama thriller, honestly. It's Leonardo DiCaprio, and I gotta see. I cannot remember the Kate Winslet. It's Kate Winslet. Okay, dude, that movie. I don't want to say too much because I think you should watch that. You'd like that.
Okay.
That's some good. Whoever he worked with on that movie, writing wise, that movie is really well done. 1917 is actually the last movie I saw in theaters with my dad.
Wow.
We went and watched it during the pandemic, which was kind of interesting. So yeah, because it was in theaters in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hit my dad up. I was like, "You want to go see this movie?" We hadn't seen a movie together since The Dark Knight. Actually, kind
Holy
of funny.
shit.
Because we've referenced that in this episode. But yeah, we went and saw it for my birthday when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was what 2007, I think is when Dark Knight came out. 2006, 7, whatever. Anyways. So yeah, it had been over 8 years since we had seen a movie together, and my dad and I used to go to the theater a lot. So yeah, I hit him up like, "Hey, you want to go see 1917?" Because I heard great things about it. I mean, you got a World War I drama, which we definitely have more Vietnam, World War II movies than we do World War I. So I was like, "That's cool," and it was getting a lot of praise because of how it was filmed. It is a solid camera shot from beginning to end, never changes. Wow, and it's like you were in a third-person video game, and you're just following the story. And it was so cool to see in theaters. But, yeah, to know he made that movie that, like, literally amazed me.
Yeah.
Like, cool. This director's up there, man. And then Oliver Twist. He's he's producer for that. Wait a minute. I'm on his director's tab. Hold on. Did he direct these movies?
No, he produced all those.
Fucking shit. Hold on. No. Director. Okay. All right. Hold on.
He must have done both then.
Oh, he did American Beauty. Oh, he did Jarhead.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. I love Jarhead. And American Beauty. I think that's Kevin Costner, if that's the movie I'm thinking of. Kevin Spacey. Sorry, Kevin Costner. Kevin Spacey. Dude,
Spacey.
Dima, American Beauty. Okay, see, now this makes more sense. This is like a similar tone. Dark movie. Yep. Oh! He did Spectre!
Oh, wow.
Holy shit! I was going to say, he did so good with this movie. I don't know how they didn't have him. Because, again, this was supposed to be the last movie.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, let's get this guy to give us the finale. That's cool. Okay. Well, this is a nice surprise.
Oh, wow. They have less of a rating for Spectre than they do Skyfall.
Like I said, Dima, the things that I love about these movies, a lot of people don't.
Gotcha.
But I think you will.
Okay.
We're
usually pretty...
We're not people who want repeats of what we've already got.
Right.
For whatever reason, majority of like general audience, they
do.
want things like, when they go see the live action Lion King,
Right.
they want it to literally be a live action adaptation of the animated movie.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool, I guess, for you. That bores me. So when that's what happens, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think you and I are the same like that. Like, we want something new. That's why we loved the Batman.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't like it
That's
because
true.
they want it to be like Christopher Nolan's, or Tim Burton. It's like, can we let directors fucking cook?
Just
do their thing,
do their job.
Oh God.
Uninterrupted.
There was an article that was released by this guy. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't source it. He was talking about how Batman v Superman's becoming a cult classic, and people over 10 years later are realizing, well, it's not over 10 years later, that's how he worded it, are realizing the genius behind Zack Snyder's direction. And it's like, that's because of this mindset we're talking about. People go into these things wanting what they've already seen. Yeah. They wanted to see Superman.
Right.
Not a dark, grounded, relatable Superman. I was all for it.
That's so funny.
Yes, Zack Snyder. More, please.
Yeah. I remember not liking that movie.
But yeah, now it's called like people, and now you see how DC movies are doing.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest grossing DC movie in the past 2 years is Black Adam.
Is it really?
Yes,
Oh.
Dima. Not The Flash, not Blue Beetle, not Shazam.
Wow.
Black Adam. And in this article, he references that. He says, maybe The Rock was cooking something. And I'm like, yeah, I think he was. Because, hey, I liked Black Adam.
No, I did too.
Again,
I was entertained by it.
everyone's all like, oh, it didn't follow the comics. Which, yeah, I can definitely be quoted as saying I don't think The Rock has ever read a Black Adam
Right.
comic book. But I didn't say I didn't like the movie.
Yes.
Look, I got literally the fucking Bible of Black Adam comics, all right? I have the Black Adam comics. I've read them all. I've even got comics that the Black Adam's been featured in. I love Black Adam as a comic book character. I didn't watch this movie and go like, well, wait a minute, they didn't do what the writers did in that comic book. No, I fucking loved it. I loved the direction they took with it. They gave me something new and fresh. I want that. I don't want a repeat of what I've already read or what I've already seen. Like, God, man, we just can't get anything original anymore. It's just so... Oh, and not to mention, The Rock brings us back Henry Cavill Superman, something we've been quivering for years. And what do people do? Not, oh, thank you, Rock. Like, oh, fuck you, Rock. You gave him a highly saturated Superman suit and brought back the old Superman theme. Like, it's like, we're never fucking
Never
happy.
satisfied.
So you're complaining that the movie itself didn't do what had been done before.
Yeah.
But then you're going to complain that Superman is doing what Superman has done before.
Right.
Which fucking way is it?
We just can't win with
I
these
just
people.
don't. Anyways, I'm not gonna get on the whole comic book movie rant. I've done enough of that. But yeah, it's funny. So, anyways, you're gonna like these Bond movies.
Gotcha.
I have no doubt. It's so easy to get on a fucking. Oh my gosh. Anyways. Do you ever think about like setting up a trash can at home and just kind of practicing?
No. I usually throw the trash on the coffee table and then get yelled at for leaving trash everywhere.
Okay.
It only stays there for maybe one day nowadays.
I feel like if your trash can was a part of a union, they'd have a grievance for not feeling useful. Like, why do I have to come to work every day? I'm not doing anything. I serve no purpose.
Sure.
Our trash can would probably join that union as well.
Oh, it would. Oh, speaking of trash cans, like filing grievances.
What segue? What? I'm intrigued. Yes, Nima, go ahead.
I felt like Peyton from You Should Know podcast.
Are you plugging another podcast on our podcast? God, man.
I am. Anyway.
Yeah, so Bogey Butter Stogie is now hiring 2 different positions for our podcast.
I'm fired.
Applications will be found online.
But speaking of trash cans filing union or being a part of a union and filing grievances, I watched Sausage Party yesterday.
How did that segue into Sausage Party?
Because the sausage is in the
Trash Can
food.
Union. Please connect them to
Yes,
Sausage Party.
Well, so if the trash can was alive and a part of a union, the trash can would be alive if it was in the Sausage Party world. Because, like everything else in that movie, it was alive.
Sure.
But
Sure, Dima.
that movie.
Had
is
you not seen
freaking-
that movie?
I haven't seen the movie in a few years, since like 2018.
Oh.
It's been a while.
I feel like Jordan needs to watch that,
The
honestly.
movie is dumb as hell.
You should add that to the much watch.
Oh,
list
I
we
should.
have. Like,
Jordan needs to watch
I
it.
am not talking about this on that on our podcast, but I meant to say I'm not talking about that on this podcast. But it is a funny movie. It's just ridiculous.
It's fucking wild.
I don't know, because I'm still like conflicted about Napoleon Dynamite, but I think we're probably gonna end up talking about it because it is a very interesting movie. Definitely a cult classic. Speaking of cult classics, and I can't think of a movie like it, which there's something to be said about that. So, oh, that reminds me, kind of breaking back into the whole Tom Hanks Road to Perdition and how I said I watch all of his movies. There is a Tom Hanks movie I have not seen that is available on streaming right now.
I'll buy the DVD. You know what really bothers me?
Let's hear it, Dima.
So, I went to go for the Wrestler podcast that we did.
Oh, yeah.
I went to like 4 or 5 different stores to try to buy the DVD.
Mm.
Nobody had it. I was not happy.
I will say, though, you didn't check half-price books. That is
I
where-
did not.
I just went there the other day. I actually haven't told you about this. I guess I'll tell you
just
now. Oh, man. Tom Hanks, man. If we were still doing, like, banger podcasts, we would just do one dedicated to Tom Hanks. But, yeah, we'll do Tom Hanks movies. A Man Called Otto. My grandma loves that movie.
He was a Mamma Mia?
Yeah.
He was a producer in it. Okay. Never mind.
I thought he had a cameo in it. I could be wrong. I could have sworn Tom Hanks did something in that.
Oh, that's the second one. That's why.
Okay, I don't like how IMDb... Like, why would you... whatever. Anyways. I click on Tom Hanks. You're going to show me what he's produced. I want his acting. Dumbasses. I would say who's running this site, but it's literally run by us. So, yeah. Can we just get like movies he's been? Oh my god! I just watched Band of Brothers again. I think I've watched that series like 9 times now.
Still haven't seen it.
Man, Dima, you are missing out. That will give you the load of butter that you have been looking for when it comes to World War II.
Ooh, okay. Band of Brothers.
Yep.
I'm watching Suits.
It is from him and Steven Spielberg.
Oh shit.
2 titans, man, came together to give us this series. Anyways, back to Tom Hanks as an actor. I just wanted to pop in on his directing thing really quick. But yeah, he actually directed 1 episode in Band of Brothers. I think it's the first one or the last. I can't remember. Anyways, he actually directed one of the episodes himself.
Oh wow.
Because they produced the whole series together, but I think he directed one of them himself. Anyways, Asteroid City. Okay, I'll pull up a trailer of Asteroid City because I'm going to show you why I'm intrigued by this.
Oh, there it is, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What's that?
All right, guys. We just watched the trailer for Asteroid City. We're gonna cut that out because we don't get copyright strikes. But I don't know, Demi. I'd say you're intrigued, maybe.
I don't really know. I'll probably watch it.
It looks interesting, right? Like
It looks weird.
it does. Yeah. It'll probably not be my favorite Tom Hanks thing,
Yeah.
but like, no, my grandma wants me to watch A Man Called Otto.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
She told me it's really good. Now, I will say, I might get fucking hate for this, Dima.
I don't know.
I could not watch Elvis.
I haven't even started.
Woof, we're about to get fucking torn apart.
Looks good.
I was intrigued. I like Elvis, and I honestly was really disappointed when I started watching the movie.
Was it Austin Butler's
No,
portrayal?
He does a great job,
Oh.
from what I can tell. I would say I probably got 5 or 6 minutes into the movie.
Oh no.
I hated the way it was filmed.
Oh my god.
I didn't like the filming.
That's so bad. That's really bad.
And this movie got so much fucking praise, best
Yeah, it
pictures,
did.
all this shit.
Oh wow.
I couldn't watch it. I haven't even tried to again. Like I've listened to a podcast where they like rave about this movie, and I was literally just like, what am I missing?
Oh my god.
I don't know. Like if I had went to a theater to watch this, I would have been mad, man.
Oof.
Unless they just have a very long intro, like a stylized intro that I just wasn't grasping that's what it was.
Yeah.
The way it was cut and edited was just chaotic, and I didn't like it. And I didn't like Tom Hanks's introduction to the movies where I stopped watching it.
Oh God.
I'll just say it. But dude, people rave about this movie, and I'm just like, okay. Now, I will say, I will give it another shot. I don't know when, but I will give it another shot, and I'll try to maybe give 15 minutes of my time to it just to see if it gets better. But if a movie doesn't start good, I usually am not going to like the rest of it. Like, if you can't hook me in the beginning, I feel like you've failed at your job.
It had a $288.7 million budget.
Dima, it was huge. Like I said, it won Best Picture and shit. Austin Butler was tearing up the fucking award shows. Best actor. I just. But look, this movie's 2 hours 40 minutes. I'm not gonna watch a 2 hour 40-minute movie if I can't even 6 minutes in find something about that I'm enjoying. Maybe I sound like a douchebag, but I'm just saying, man. Like it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. I love these, biopics of famous people. I love they did one on John Morrison for The Doors.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie. Love it. But yeah, there was something about because this trailer doesn't show it, man. The way this movie was filmed and edited in the beginning really bothered me. Turned me away.
Wow.
I think it's on Max right now, and that's where I tried to watch it, and I was just like, yep, something else. Gotta find something else. So, yeah.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you try to watch it at some point and see if you agree. Like I said, I will give it another shot, but it's not anything I'm pressed on doing anytime soon. So...
Yeah, no, I'll definitely...
Tom Hanks hasn't had something I've been too stoked on recently. Now, I'm going to see what that movie was that we watched with Jordan with the battleships. Greyhound. That was awesome.
Oh, that was really good.
That was really good.
It's not as old as I thought it was. I don't know why I thought it came out before then.
No, we watched that during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like we're about to enter again. Sully. Great movie. The Circle. Emma Watson's mom has MS in that movie.
Really?
So
oh shit!
I was able to relate to that. That was a really cool movie. Bridge of Spies, really good movie. Saving Mr. Banks, that was good. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't watch all of Tom Hanks' movies. I lied. I guess I just watch the ones that I'm very well aware of. His kind of bigger movies, I guess. Cause there's some stuff on here I haven't watched. Oh, dude, have you seen that Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close?
I don't think I've seen it. I've heard of it, though.
That's rough, man. The kid's dad dies in the World Trade Centers.
Oh, shit. Maybe I have.
That's a good movie.
Extremely Loud.
Really good movie. Okay, Cloud Atlas. My dad told me not to try to watch that, and I did. That's a very strange movie. Very strange. I watched it and wasn't sure what I had just watched. So, and I'm not the biggest fan of Halle Berry anymore, and I see she's in it. I forgot she was in it, but yeah. Oh, look, Q's in it. That's the guy that plays Q.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's a cabin boy there.
From cabin boy to quartermaster.
Maybe I haven't seen this one.
Anyways.
What was that 9/11 movie that I watched? I completely forget.
Was there something else we were gonna talk about on here? Are we just rambling?
I think we're just rambling.
Fuck.
Specifically. Fuck. Very excited for my movie that I choose for all of us to talk about.
Mine's gonna be better.
No.
Oh wait, we're not doing Salt anymore.
No.
Okay, I've seen Salt. Salt's good, but
yeah, no, I changed.
My
it.
pick is gonna smoke. Well, I won't say anything about the Pope's Exorcist. It might surprise me. Okay, I'll go ahead and hype this up right now. All right, guys, I've known Dima for almost 6 years now.
Holy shit, time flies.
Yeah. one of the things we had in common from Jump was that we were both big horror movie fans. And we both agreed back in 2017 that there weren't that many good recent horror movies. Original ideas or whatever, blah, blah, but we agreed on that. I've never seen Dima that excited about a movie that had come out or that was coming out. Yeah. Whether the trailers weren't doing the job or the movie just didn't do anything for him. On the Annihilation podcast, I don't remember that. Yeah. It was a Netflix movie, and it surprised us because Netflix movies can sometimes have that quality that just screams it's a Netflix movie. And Annihilation kind of ventured away from that. They did a good job. Yeah. But I was showing disappointment that Russell Crowe, who is one of my favorite actors, had a movie on there, The Pope's Exorcist, which if a movie is new and it is streaming on Netflix, I just assume it's a Netflix movie.
Yes.
I was wrong. It is not a Netflix movie. It's a Sony's Pictures movie, which
usually isn't much better.
That can go one way or another.
Right.
Like, the first Venom was awesome. The second Venom was... So it's like, it can go either way. It can be Morbin time, or it can be something better. Anyways, Dima said that this movie actually terrified him.
Yeah. It was...
Word for word, that is what he told me. And that has me very excited.
I shook a little bit.
So we're going to be tackling that. Now, my pick is Drive with Ryan Gosling, which I think is my favorite. Almost, well, it's between that and Place Between the Pines, which are both on our podcast list. You guys are going to love both those movies. But Drive is just, I don't know, man. It's like, don't read too much into this, Dima. It's like American Psycho for me in terms of it is a movie that I don't think anyone can touch when it comes to like a character study. Okay. He plays a character in this that is just so unique, and like they had figured out every aspect of this character. Like when they were in the writing room, there wasn't anything like if you asked, does he prefer wheat or white bread? They're going to be able to tell you. Like you can tell they thought this character out, and because there's scenarios that pop up, and it's just like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But I can tell when they created this character, they knew like in this scenario, this is what he's going to do.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I like that because it's unpredictable. And Ryan Gosling, man, it's one of those roles you just feel like he was made for it.
Yeah.
It's very Sigma, Dima. Actually, a lot of the Sigma TikToks, which have used American Psycho, they've also used Drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's something to it.
It's got a pretty decent cast.
He wears a pretty iconic jacket, and it has a scorpion on the back.
Oh, shit.
That's cool. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited for The Pope's Exorcist. I'm excited for Drive, and then whatever Jordan makes it. Oh, what's Jordan got on the list?
I don't know. I'm confused by which list I'm supposed to pay more attention to.
So the watch list is just, hey, let's watch this, which I get that. Like, that's not shit we're going to tackle on the podcast. Like, Sausage Party, you could put that on the watch it. Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about that on here.
Gotcha.
But then the one called Podcast Movies, that's what
the one we're watching.
We personally think is something we would all like. If I have a line through it, that means I've changed my mind.
Okay.
Which, that's what happened to Lamb. Jordan had me watch Lamb. That movie is fucking stupid. It's a good A24 movie, I guess. Like, it has the surprise ending that just makes you say, what the fuck? But when I was thinking about it, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I don't know. I do want you to watch it, though.
Lamb?
Yes. Okay. You'll enjoy it. It's not a movie that you're going to get bored with. You're going to be wondering, like, where are they going with this?
Gotcha.
And they show you, and it's like, it's actually kind of badass. But then I was like, why would people be okay with this? Like, I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't want to sit down and talk about it.
Okay.
And you'll see why. But it is worth watching.
Midnight Mass.
Oh, The Whale. Loved The Whale. Brendan Fraser had a full comeback with that movie. So fucking good. That's probably the best A24 movie I've watched in a while. Man, it's good. What has Jordan put on here? Oh, This Is the End. That movie's a banger, dude. That's funny. That'll be a good comedy for us to break down. I'm excited for that. Oh, I put American Pie on here. Gotta talk about American Pie.
Yeah, no, that's. I think I've
Classic.
seen that one.
The first one's just so good. Jordan and I are both big fans of Hacksaw Ridge. It's a great movie with Andrew Garfield.
Yep. I keep seeing that pop up on Netflix, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be starting that one.
Sicario and Den of Thieves are movies which we will have our special guest Matt Jones returning, which you guys will see him on our John Wick episode, which is coming in the near future, 2026. I don't want to edit that damn episode. Guys, I'm sure you've noticed we have a nice new setup on the podcast, which has been brought to us by our good friend with Good Enough Garage. So we appreciate that. Always got his keychain hanging back here. But anyways, before that, we were kind of just getting by, with what we had. And we have episodes still in the tank. Because I'm sure you guys will notice, like, we have an episode that looks and sounds really good, and then episode's kind of like, eh. That episode was when we first got this set up, and, like, we still had a lot of people on here. I'm sure you've noticed we've kind of, like, toned down how many people are on the podcast. We had 5 fucking people on this podcast. It looks and sounds great, but it's a lot for me to put together. A lot of camera angles, a lot of...
A lot of audio.
I just don't want to edit it. Not to mention, we were breaking down 4 fucking John Wick movies. Never again, Dima. Never again.
Oh, Jordan's Oscar Isaac is in Drive. Sorry. Got distracted.
He is. Jordan will like... Jordan's going to like Drive. That's all I'm going to say. There is a sequence of scenes in that movie, Dima, that you're literally going to find your hand at the bottom of your popcorn bag looking for a hole.
This is shit on. All right, I'm purchasing this movie at the store.
That's so fucking vulgar.
That was very, very
In your
apparent.
own popcorn bag. Oh my god. Alright, we need to end this before I really expose
us
myself
canceled.
for the scum that I am. Abby married this.
Yes, she did.
Why are you still recording me? Can you imagine, like, having a fully AI studio where, like, we just walk in and sit down and say, record podcast, and, like, lights, camera, audio, everything just happens.
Oh, that would be so easy.
That's where our world's going, though. Like, we're going to live in an AI dwelling.
I mean, we kind of already do. Alexa can be.
It'll be
tapped
like
into the
Wall-E.
lights.
Yeah, like, we'll be sitting in a chair and be like, we won't even have to, like, say anything directly to it. We'll just be like, food.
Yeah.
And it'll somehow get to where you're sitting. It'll be prepped and get to you without any intervention from your end. Wall-E. The darkest Disney movie ever made.
That, yeah.
Fucking fight me on it. I know people will say, like, oh, no, it's Snow White, or... no, fuck that, dude. Like, Wall-E.
How do you spell Wall-E?
It's Wall-E.
Oh, that's where I'm going wrong. Okay. Forgot the hyphen.
Always remember the hyphen, Dima. My father.
You want to know how I got these scars?
There's a part of me that wants to do the Dark Knight trilogy.
We should.
Yeah, we should. Eventually. I'll be honest. I kind of just want to do the Dark Knight.
Just the first one?
Well, no, like, because Batman Begins is the first one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right.
Like, Batman Begins was my favorite Batman movie until The Batman.
Yes.
So, like, I can reference the things I like about it really quick, but breaking down a movie about Batman, The Dark Knight would be a phenomenal one to do.
Yes.
So,
Rest in peace.
I feel like Jordan would be for that, too.
Yeah, he'll like it. He'll watch it. He won't admit that he'll like it, but he'll like it.
He already has. He's told me that's one of his favorite movies, so he can say what he wants. No, Dima. I'm 25 years old.
Yeah, you're 25 and you're going to go see it. I can go to our Sweet Cobb now.
To what?
Our Sweet Cobb.
You're not
theater.
banned anymore?
Nope.
You're not a criminal?
Nope.
You're not a felon?
Never was.
Mm.
They cleared me.
Can you, like, change that?
No, I'm cool. It was really, it's bad, dude.
What if it's for the podcast, though? Like,
No.
Like
Fabio? No.
home of the felon.
No, never.
Bogey Butter Stogie.
Yeah, no, they're, yeah, well, I'm just going to say their security guard wasn't paying attention driving their vehicle, and if I was 10 feet closer to that vehicle, I would have got hit by the car. Their security was driving.
Are you blackmailing security
No.
at your previous employment?
No, I'm not. I'm just
Okay, I was
stating a
about to
fact
say.
that, like, he wasn't watching where he was going and almost hit me.
So you guys have called it even, is what I'm getting.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
I got you. Yeah, we were actually there yesterday, Dima.
Oh, really? I was there a few
Myself,
days ago.
Jordan, Abby, and Kate.
Huh.
We just went to box lunch, whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah, box lunch.
I could finally go in there because a certain somebody wasn't working there anymore. Anyways, cool store. It kind of reminds me of like the what did we call that at FYE? The collectibles section at
yeah.
FYE, which ended up just becoming the entire fucking store. Like the store went from being mostly movies and music to being like a small bin in a clothing store, basically.
Yeah.
But anyways, it kind of reminded me of that. Same kind of stuff. Cool store.
Yeah.
But anyways, when we're walking to it, we see security guard coming down the elevator, right? He's wearing one of the Bumblebee shirts. And Jordan was like, oh, yep, there's that. What do you think was in his hand, Dima?
Phone.
Huh?
Food.
What kind of food?
Burger. Pizza.
Oh, yeah. Fat pizza. Walking around the mall with pizza in his hand. I mean,
Keep my thoughts
he
to
couldn't
myself.
have looked less like he gave a fuck about anything.
Long blonde hair.
No, Nima.
Skinny black hair kid.
Yes, Nima.
Oh, that was the one that almost hit me in the car.
He probably had pizza in his hand when he was driving it. Because he wasn't even looking at where he was walking. He was literally like, he came out of the elevator and he was looking down. Like, it looked like he was looking at his phone.
Yeah.
Turns the corner. He's looking at the pizza. And he's just walking, like, looking straight down. Security. Anyways. Damn, we're not even, like, over 2.5 hours. That's surprising.
That is surprising.
Well, we're going to close this out.
Alrighty.
I've been trying to edit this out of podcasts, but if you guys come across an episode where I talk about a merch store, it is almost live. I've been creating the designs myself, and it's taking some time, and I want to have a nice selection for you guys. So even though we do have stuff ready, it is not live yet. So if you come across an episode prior to this one being posted where I talk about a merch store, it is not ready yet. Or it once was with our prior name and we had changed it. So we do not have merchandise yet. I just want to put that out there. But it is coming. We will make sure that everyone's well aware. We'll post on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Very excited. It'll probably be launched at the same time that I release the first episode of our cartoon. So, yes. Because we have a 10-episode first season of our cartoon coming very soon, which I'm very excited for. So, and there will be some merchandise in correlation with that. So, yeah, anyways, just hang in there for that. But I can see why people might be confused because I've definitely said, like, oh, yeah, there's a link down below. And, we thought the store would be ready. It's not ready yet. But we just want to make sure, like I said, we want to make sure there's a variety of stuff. We don't want to just have a t-shirt with our logo on it. Like, anyone can fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be clever. Anyways. Guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been cool to get back on this James Bond thing. We did have a week off. But we'll keep the train rolling. Next week we'll have Spectre. And I cannot wait for that. That is my probably all-time favorite James Bond movie. I can say that confidently now because like I said on the last episode, I couldn't watch Quantum of Solace and not just finish the story. I had to know where it was going. Like a good book, I just had to keep flipping the pages until the end. And I still wanted more. But I can't get it. But man, it's good. So yeah, can't wait to talk about that movie. It's got the same director, which I am a big fan of. I'm learning that now. So yeah, very excited. I'm very excited to see what you think about it. But anyways, thank you again for tuning in. Sorry that we go on these long random tangents. Yeah, I don't know. It's just dumb shit. We're stupid. I don't know why anyone would ever listen or watch this crap. But I'm not judging you. I appreciate it. I'm just like, I don't know. Anyways. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the thumb on hand, subscribe, follow, all that shit. See you.